Hello guys, I'm inspired jungler for rogue.
Question number one. How do you feel after finishing 2 weeks with 3-2 results? What caused Rogue to lose to Fnatic and G2?
I mean, don't feel that great. Obviously, I would feel better if it would be 5-0, but it's fine to start 3-2 because the regular season doesn't really matter that much as long as we make it into playoffs, and then we will like review the patch that playoffs is being on very well and adapt to it, and then perform very well in playoffs. So the games won't really matter then. But looking at it right now, obviously everyone wanted to win, and we kinda underperformed. I feel like we made some mistakes that we don't really make in practice. Like we were just not calm in game, I would say, because the things that we were doing were just really random, and I think we just couldn't like focus really well on the game. I think that's why we lost.
Question number two. You were compared to SofM after fans saw your in-game as SofM Junior. Meanwhile, Ayoya thinks you have the same gameplay as Canyon. What do you think about this comparison? How would you describe the current level of junglers in the LEC? So first, what do you think about this comparison?
I mean, I kinda learn a lot from SofM because I think he knows exact limits of every champion. So it looks like he's playing very aggressive, but I think he just knows exactly what is he able to do, and he's just looking like he's playing aggressive. But in the reality, he just knows that his play is just a correct play that he can do, but people don't really see it because they don't know it's possible. But I think he sees all of those small details that his champion is like good against enemy champions and what exactly he can do. So I kind of try to learn this from him, and also like implement it into my gameplay. So maybe that's why it starts looking kind of similar to him. And about the Elioya saying that I play kind of similar to Canyon, I think Canyon is also very good jungler, but I think he is not the type of guy like SofM. He doesn't take those like kind of aggressive but like playing to absolute limits, because I think he's more like stable player that just have some clear plans in the mind and then he follows it without taking too many risks. And I think I play like that as well, but I try to push myself to the limits when it's possible. So it's kind of mix of both, I would say.
How would you describe the current level of the junglers in the LEC?
I think the junglers are a bit too passive sometimes and sometimes too aggressive, because I think they don't really know exactly what they should be doing in game. At least it was like that last split, because I think last split the meta was way different than it is right now. And last split you were basically playing Udyr Hecarim all the time, and I think I was very good at it, and I also thought that SofM is probably the best jungler in the world that is playing those champs. And right now the meta is a bit different because you can play as aggressive as you want, you can also farm a lot. I think it's just dependent on how you like to play and how your team likes to play, and also you can play so many champs nowadays, not like last split. So I think the level overall in LEC is like more even in the jungle because everyone has different playstyle and everyone playstyle kinda works, so it's a bit closer now.
Question number three. Do you have any comments about SofM? I mean, you kind of answered it, but maybe a message to SofM or something like that.
I don't know. I don't think I have any comment. I just hope he would stream more often because it's nice to watch his POV, and so far I can only watch his solo queue replays.
Apart from SofM, are there any other junglers you actively study to get better right now?
I mean, I watch almost every top like LPL and LCK game, but I don't really like study it very deeply. I just see what both players do and like both teams, how they rotate and how they play them up, and I don't really study it that deep. But I think it's only SofM and Canyon as well that I just watch their solo queues, like match histories, what champs are they playing, what are they playing in official, and how exactly they play. I think those two, but now Canyon switched to mid, so it's only SofM left.
Question number four. We've seen a lot of changes in the jungle meta, both before and after the 2021 mid-season invitational.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on the new jungle meta, and how have the changes affected how you perform your individual role for the team?
As I said before, I think the jungle meta is way different, and it's kinda I'm not sure if it's more like mechanical skilled, I think, because last split I think it was all about how smart are you about playing your champs and how well you know the limits of what your champ can do, because you are playing Udre and Hekarim and you always have to know if you can go deep or how do you want to play it, and it's not that mechanical skilled, it's just how good you like think about stuff. But right now I think there's a lot of champs that are very skilled and you can kind of win the game by outplaying enemies, not like before you had to focus on farming and then playing for objectives. I think now you can pick the champs that are kind of fighting early and try to take more fights, and if you outplay enemies you can win. So I'm not sure how is it affecting me. I think I'm fine at both, but I honestly prefer the previous meta where you had to think a lot and farm a lot and just play well with a jungle tempo.
Question number 5. Do you think the other role swap in the LEC will work out? And what do you think is the difference between role swapping from top versus role swapping from jungle?
Like you mean role swap from Bwipo or what?
I mean, first you have the role swap trees.
I mean, I kind of think it's not that hard to role swap to jungle if you are a good player, like overall you know what's happening on the map. I think there's a lot of players that wouldn't be able to do it, but there's some players that just understand the game very well and they could easily play jungle, because I think the role is not that hard. You don't have to learn matchups like you have like you have to in lane. So you just need to know what your team needs to win, and then you can play jungle basically. So I think you can role swap to jungle, that's for sure, but I think it's very hard to be like top jungler instantly. But I think Bwipo has a very good game knowledge. I think his role swap was pretty smart. I think he will be a good jungler. He's probably a pretty good jungler. But about treats, I'm not really sure. I think it was kind of weird to role swap from support to jungle. I think that's a bit weird role swap.
Is there a difference between role swapping from top versus role swapping from jungle?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I don't think there would be any jungler that be able to role swap to mid or top and instantly be like good. And I think top laner that role swap to jungle can be good very fast. Like for example, Canyon, I think it will take him some time if he will stay on mid for a while to be like actually one of the best players in the world on his role. I think it's pretty hard. But for Bwipo, I think he can easily be one of the best junglers in EU, or if he is not already. So I think it's easier to role swap from top lane to jungle.
Question number 6. What are the current strengths of Rogue, and what does Rogue need to improve before entering the LEC 21 Summer?
I think we play very well aggressive in early game. I think our bot lane is always getting leads to B2 and we try to play around them. But I think sometimes we just need to know when to like chill a bit, that we already have the advantage and all we need to do is just wait for good fights for us, or like just wait until someone creates a good opportunity to fight, because we already have a lead and we just try to push it too hard and sometimes we just throw the games or like we get ganked or stuff like that. I think that's what we need to work on, just to be more patient in game, and even if we are winning, just know that we will win by doing nothing basically. We don't have to permaforce fights or like skirmishes or stuff like that.
Question number 7. You joined Rogue in 2019 when you were just 17 years old, as first LEC player born in 2002. Since then, how have you changed to become one of the best junglers in the LEC at the moment?
I don't think I changed that much. I think I definitely started playing more like aggressive and I understood the game better, because before I think I was just not like stable. I kind of knew what I'm supposed to do in game, but sometimes I just took bad decision because someone like pressured me, or maybe I got too scared of doing some plays. And I think now I just got the confidence that I can actually be better than others and I know exactly what to do in game, and I just follow the game plans. And I think that's just easier to play if you're more confident.
Question number 8. What's the biggest lesson you have learned since playing for Rogue? And what was your most meaningful moment while playing for Rogue?
My most meaningful moment was probably winning against G2 in best of 5 last split, because we basically never won against G2 and then we beat them best of 5. So that was a very, very cool series. And what I learned... The biggest lesson? I guess the final, because I know that you have to be focused through the whole series until you explode enemy nexus third time in best of 5s. I think me and also my team kinda saw us winning already in game 3 and we kinda lost the focus I think that's the biggest lesson, that right now I will always be 100% focused until you win 3 times in a row in best of 5.
Last 2 questions. Question number 9. What are your personal and world goals in the LEC 21 Summer?
I mean, obviously we want to win the split, right? It can't get better. I mean, the only way it gets better than last split is us winning, so we aim to win it all. But I mean, we'll see how it goes. For sure, the very big part is going to Worlds, so we for sure want to go to Worlds, and then yeah, we will try our best to win the split. And for me, I just want to keep playing like I did last split. I think jungle is the role that changes every year, or like every split. Basically, the Riot just changes the jungle. So I think it's kind of hardest to stay the best at your role when you are a jungler, because it changes the most compared to like mid lane or top lane, where they are basically just new champions, but the role is very similar. And in jungle, I think your pathings change, depends on patch, and just champions change, everything changes from split to split. So I just want to get into good level and just keep it.
Last question. What is the chance for you and Rogue to win the LEC 21 Summer and attend 21 Worlds?
I mean, it's pretty high, I would say. No, we kinda won, we almost won last split, so this split the expectations are high, and I think we have pretty good chance to win if we will adapt well to the meta, and we'll see how will the patch for playoffs look, because I think this is the most important. Because if you look at the last split, I think the playoff patch or like playoff meta was way different than what people were playing during regular season. So even if you are good at regular season, you don't really have to be that good in playoffs, or even if you are bad in regular season, you can be very good in playoffs. So I think it's all about keeping a good routines right now, and then figuring out the playoff patch as well as you can and perform well there.
Do you have any messages for your Vietnamese fans?
Yeah, I don't really know how many Vietnamese fans I have, because it's kind of hard to know that, because I don't really interact with Vietnamese fans. But it's pretty cool to see there is a lot of Vietnamese fans, even though their teams couldn't attend to Worlds and now MSI. But I saw that SofM was getting a lot of support from them, so I think Vietnamese fans are very nice. So I hope they will like how we play and they will support us as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.